Long ago, in a warm land of open plains and quiet forests, there stood a peaceful village beneath a wide and generous sky. The people there lived simple lives. They worked the fields, shared their food, and rested when the day was done. Life was not perfect, but it was honest and kind. In this village lived a man named Samu. Samu was known by everyone. He was generous with his time, gentle in his speech, and always ready to help a neighbor. When someone was in need, Samu was the first to step forward. Yet behind his kindness, Samu carried a quiet burden that no one could see. Wherever Samu went, he felt something followed him. He called it his shadow. From morning until night, the shadow never left his side. When Samu walked through the village paths, it stretched behind him. When he sat to rest, it waited beside him. When he laughed with friends, it laughed in silence with him. And when he felt sad, it felt heavier than ever. The more Samu tried to forget the shadow, the stronger it seemed to grow. The villagers began to notice that Samu looked tired, even on peaceful days. His smile sometimes faded too quickly, and his eyes often wandered as if searching for something he could not name. "Why do you look so uneasy?" they asked him gently, "when you have done nothing wrong?" Samu had no answer. He only knew that something inside him felt heavy, as if his heart was always carrying a quiet weight. One afternoon, feeling restless and unable to remain in the village, Samu walked beyond the fields toward the edge of the forest. The air grew cooler there, and the sounds of village life faded behind him. As he walked, Samu noticed a small monastery resting quietly among the trees. It seemed untouched by hurry or noise. Drawn by a feeling he could not explain, Samu stepped inside its grounds. Beneath a large tree sat the Buddha, teaching a small group of monks. His voice was calm, and his presence felt steady, like a mountain that does not move with the wind. Samu waited until the teaching ended. Then he bowed deeply and spoke. "Teacher," he said, "I try to live well. I help others and avoid harm. Yet I am followed by a shadow that never leaves me. I do not know how to escape it." The Buddha looked at Samu with gentle eyes and said, "Show me this shadow." They walked together into an open field where the sun shone brightly above them. Samu's shadow stretched long across the ground. "Walk away from it," said the Buddha. Samu walked forward. The shadow followed. "Walk faster," said the Buddha. Samu quickened his pace. The shadow moved just as quickly. "Hide from it," said the Buddha. Samu stepped behind a tree. The shadow wrapped itself around the trunk. Exhausted, Samu sank to the ground. His chest rose and fell as he struggled for breath. "I will never leave me," he whispered, "no matter what I do." The Buddha smiled softly and said, "Turn around." Samu turned and faced his shadow for the first time. He stood still and looked at it carefully. "What do you see?" the Buddha asked. Samu hesitated. Then he spoke quietly. "I see myself." The Buddha nodded. "The shadow is not your enemy. It is created by the light behind you." Samu listened in silence. The Buddha continued, "When you run from discomfort, it follows you. When you fight your thoughts, they grow stronger. But when you stop and look, they lose their power." The Buddha asked Samu to sit down. "Do not chase the shadow. Do not fear it. Simply sit." Samu sat quietly on the ground. He closed his eyes and breathed. The sun slowly moved across the sky. As time passed, the shadow softened. It no longer stretched wildly. It simply rested near him. Something inside Samu loosened. That evening, Samu walked back through the village. The shadow still followed him, but it felt different. It no longer frightened him. It no longer felt heavy. In the days that followed, Samu practiced noticing his thoughts instead of running from them. When anger appeared, he watched it. When fear arose, he breathed with it. When sadness came, he allowed it to stay without judgment. Slowly, the shadow grew lighter. One morning, Samu walked at dawn as the sun rose gently behind him. His shadow lay quietly before him, small and harmless. In that moment, Samu understood. The shadow had never been chasing him. It had only been showing him where the light was. From that day on, Samu walked freely, not because the shadow disappeared, but because he no longer feared it. And so the villagers learned through Samu's calm presence a simple truth. What we run from follows us. What we face begins to soften. And when we stop fighting our shadows, we discover the light that has always been behind us.